Admiral Zephyr Kane stood before the holographic display in the command center of the Imperial Dreadnought Celestial Dominion, watching the blue marble of Earth rotate slowly beneath them. The planet looked deceptively peaceful from orbit, its white clouds swirling over continents that had once housed billions of humans. Now, only scattered settlements remained, their inhabitants living under the iron grip of the Galactic Empire. "Sir, we're receiving another transmission from the surface," reported Lieutenant Voss, her voice tight with unease. "It's the same frequency as before, but this time, it's different." Kane had been expecting this. For months, the remnants of humanity had been sending desperate pleas across the galaxy, warning of something they called the convergence. The Empire's xenobiologists had dismissed these transmissions as the ravings of a defeated species, but Kane wasn't so certain. "Put it through," he commanded, his cybernetic eye glowing as it interfaced with the ship's communication array. The voice that filled the command center belonged to Dr. Elena Vasquez, one of Earth's last surviving scientists. Her words carried the weight of exhaustion and desperate urgency. "This is our final warning to the Galactic Empire. You have 72 hours before the convergence reaches critical mass. The quantum rifts we detected beneath Earth's crust aren't natural phenomena. They're entry points. Something ancient is awakening. Something that views your empire as an infection to be cleansed." Kane felt a chill run through his augmented spine. The Empire had conquered thousands of worlds, each time dismissing the locals' warnings about ancient guardians or sleeping gods as primitive superstition. But Earth was different. Humanity had achieved remarkable technological advancement before their defeat, and their scientists understood concepts that even Imperial researchers struggled with. "Continue monitoring," Kane ordered, but Dr. Vasquez wasn't finished. "The entities emerging from the quantum substrate exist in 11 dimensions. Your weapons, your shields, your entire understanding of physics. None of it will matter. They've been dormant for millions of years, waiting for a civilization to grow large enough, aggressive enough to pose a threat to the galaxy's natural order." The transmission crackled with interference, but her final words came through with crystalline clarity. "The Empire's expansion has triggered their protocols. Earth was their monitoring station. We were never meant to be conquered, we were meant to be their early warning system." As if responding to her words, space around the Imperial fleet began to shimmer. Reality itself seemed to bend and twist as massive forms began materializing, beings of pure energy and crystallized spacetime that defied visual comprehension. They moved through dimensions the way ships moved through water, effortlessly bypassing every defense the Empire had developed. "All ships, evasive maneuvers," Kane barked, but it was too late. The lead convergence entity extended what could only be described as a thought, and 3 Imperial destroyers simply ceased to exist. Not destroyed, not vaporized, but edited out of reality as if they had never been. Admiral Kane's hand hovered over the retreat signal as more entities emerged from the quantum rifts. Each one was unique, a living equation that rewrote the laws of physics in its vicinity. The Empire's greatest weapons, stellar destroyers, gravity bombs, matter disruptors, were useless against beings that existed primarily in mathematical space. "Sir, we're receiving a new transmission from Earth," Lieutenant Voss reported, her voice barely a whisper. This time it wasn't Dr. Vasquez. The voice belonged to something far older, speaking through every communication device in the Imperial fleet simultaneously. "For eons we have slept while civilizations rose and fell. But when a species spreads like a virus, consuming and destroying without wisdom or restraint, we awaken. The Galactic Empire ends here. Those who wish to survive must return to their homeworlds and learn the meaning of balance." Admiral Kane looked around his command center at the faces of his crew, seeing his own dawning realization reflected in their eyes. The Empire had conquered 1,000 worlds by dismissing the warnings of those they conquered. But Earth's final warning had been their last chance to avoid an enemy that existed beyond their understanding. As more convergence entities materialized throughout Imperial space, Kane realized that humanity's defeat had never been the end of their story. It had been their transformation into something far more dangerous than the Empire had ever imagined.